butt crack. I made a naked gnome.
You made it. Well, I was worried we were going to lose everything, and I was like, I'm lifting them out, and I'm like, dear God.
About how that kind of condition can really hinder you when it comes to gardening.
100%. I like my solitude. I really do. I enjoy being in the garden alone.
Because I truly, truly, truly believe gardening is for everyone. It's just a matter of how you get there. You might have to think outside the box.
Well, I also, even us garden curmudgeons can step up and come out.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
Colin, it's show and tell time.
I love show and tell.
Or should I say gnome and tell? Look at this cute little gnome I made.
Did you paint him?
I did.
Where's his pants?
Look on the back. It's got a butt crack. I made a naked gnome.
You made it. Well, he's wearing his hat.
So this gnome actually has a name. So it's called Nuttin' there. Nuttin'. So Gnome and Garden is this company in Calgary, Alberta, and they do gnome painting classes. And Janice is the founder of the company, and she was there with her husband on the weekend. And she runs these workshops of only 20 people. She has all of these gnomes that she makes out of cement, and they all got names and personalities. And she has these like gnomes painted up for inspiration. She even has like a light box so you can take a picture of your gnome after you've done painting it. It's great. She said she started it only 5 years ago. It's amazing when you start sitting down and doing it and you get inspired. There's something very therapeutic about painting.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get lost in it and you start talking to people in your table. And especially when you go to these more specialized places like garden centers, you start talking about plants and you start building community. And
how many, because I can't help but notice the glittery hat, and I'm 100% not surprised you picked glittery.
Yes.
Yeah. How many different paints do they have? Because I unfortunately wasn't able to attend.
You know what's really great is they set up the tables and they bring all the supplies, and they have like a little bucket of each. So they'll give you maybe 6 to 8 like colors of paint in the middle. Tons of paintbrushes. They're very efficient. Water, everything. So like you don't have to do anything. Like
you just roll up and paint.
You just roll up and paint. They have more colors that you can choose from, like more fluorescent colors if you're looking to do a little something. They have
specialty colors, if you will.
They had probably 5 different types of glitter paint. They had tape, so you could tape off and make like a geometric thing, or like they really let your imagination run wild.
That's cool.
I think one of the coolest things about talking to Janice is kind of her reason why she does this. And it's a lot about like the mental health aspect. Mm-hmm. I think we've mentioned it many times on the podcast about how gardening can be very therapeutic, right?
100%.
I think it taps into a lot of themes like slowing down and being intentional and making something special that's personal and
grounding, focus.
Exactly. So many positive things. And so I saw this great story this week about Desiree. She lives in Texas, and she was talking about her multiple sclerosis. Okay. And about how that kind of condition can really hinder you when it comes to gardening.
100%.
And it got me thinking about, all the different kinds of health conditions that, people are living with. Desiree loved gardening from childhood, and she would often help her grandmother repot plants. And she kind of instilled this deep connection with nature really early on. So she got MS, and it actually forced her to stay indoors because heat is a major trigger. Oh. I didn't know that, actually. I mean, living in Canada, we don't really think about that, hey? It's like desert down there, right? And so gardening, it's just like near impossible, right? Migraines, vertigo, chronic fatigue, vision issues. So traditional gardening is like, feels impossible when you're dealing with that kind of thing, right? So after years of sticking to indoor cat-safe plants, like another layer, she moved to a house with an existing garden bed and had the desire to try again. But instead of doing it the traditional way, she was like, I'm just going to create a more personalized journey with my garden. And her husband now manage her symptoms. So she now gardens exclusively in the early part of the day. So she gets out there in the coolest part of the day. And she actually leaves all of the heavy lifting to her husband, that kind of thing. So she still gets to do gardening, but it's just scaled back a little bit.
100%.
And so her current garden is now thriving with sunflowers, zinnias, wildflowers, and vegetables. And it was really just that sort of mindset shift that pushed her into doing this. And look at her success.
Yep.
I think it's a big lesson for a lot of people who deal with chronic pain. You know, my mom, for one of them, she deals with a lot of joint pain.
Yep.
And that can be just so hard.
Like, so from my years landscaping.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would hire people who knew next to nothing about plants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They were rookies. They were just looking for a summer job. We just needed somebody to work the summer. So you don't need to be an expert gardener to lift the heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, many hands make light work. You know, somebody, you know, I know he's gotten a lot better with plants. Like, you know, you tell me Brad's growing his own avocado and he's happy with his house plants. And but when you and Brad first started dating, he knew next to nothing about plants.
Yeah.
But I guarantee if you'd said, oh, I need 6 bags of sea soil and I need them put over there, Brad would have lifted them for you, opened them for you, poured them out he wouldn't have given it a second thought.
Yeah. I think there's something about doing something in a partnership, like creating something in a partnership like that. I have seen it countless times where like, you think that the garden person is like, you know, the obvious choice, right? You're like, oh yeah, the one partner that's really into gardening. And you're like, well, but then slowly when you start working on it together, it's like, oh, I have an idea for this. I have an idea for this. We should do this. We should do this. And it gets exciting, right?
And gardening is one of the, so, you know, a lot of couples, when they get together, they've got their own hobbies. It can be anything. It can be cooking, photography, video games. Really doesn't matter. Cars. Yeah. And the other partner never really leans into it. Like they're enthusiastic for their significant other. Like they will stop on a road trip back from BC so they can talk for an hour to some random person in Salmonon, I think it was. I'm just saying that could happen.
About a car part?
Yeah.
Yes. You'll find me outside.
Yeah, but exactly. But that's exactly my point. But there's something, and I don't know what it is, in all of my decades doing it, there's something fundamentally weird about gardening that pulls people in.
Right?
Might not be an expert, might not be able to identify things, but exactly what you said, they're like, a pot of flowers might look really nice on, could we put something in that shady area?
Right.
And they start leaning in as opposed to, just get on with it.
Yeah. I think there's like a gratification, right?
Yeah.
You get like food from it. You get to see a new leaf unfurl. Yeah. You get to see a flower come out.
So Jenny has fibromyalgia and depression. She loves working with plants now. Loves it. She's still not super enthusiastic about the house plants. I take care of that. The garden. No, she's not going to lift the bale of coconut coir or the planters when we've done them. That being said, and I still to this day don't know how she did it. A few years ago, we had 3 massive pots. I can't even show how big they are without hitting my mic with tomatoes in them. Oh. Okay. So you know Jenny very well.
Yeah.
Jenny is not big in any way. She's like 5'2", 110 pound, tiny. I was at work and a hailstorm came through.
Oh, that's right.
She carried...
Mom strength kicked in.
All 3 of them up the stairs and into the house. I had trouble putting them back out.
She could have just put like an umbrella in it or something. No, she's like, I'm moving these.
And I was like, how the hell did you lift these? And she was like, I was panicked. I was worried we were going to lose everything. And I was like, I'm lifting them out. And I'm like, dear God, I'm going to throw my back out.
Yeah.
And but she works at her own pace. She does her own thing, but she's like, what if we dug out a new area there? Could I put something there?
Yeah.
This year for plants, I'm thinking I want to do less tomatoes, but I want to do more. And I'm like, just keep leaning in.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, because it makes her happy. It alleviates symptoms. And the benefit there is I know what I'm doing. So if she has a bad week or something isn't going great and she can't get out into the garden, I got it. Yeah. I can do all of it. If she goes out and does whatever she can, still doesn't cut the grass though. Does that remind you of anybody?
We don't talk about that on this podcast. I was also thinking about how, what if you don't have somebody, that you can really call on to help you out with gardening and whatnot. I was really interested. I actually heard about this service. And I realize it can be hard to find these people, but I was on my Instagram and a local entity was talking about how she found this guy who is like an I do everything kind of guy. Like that's his business.
Yeah, yeah.
You just call him up. You're like, what do you need help with? It could be literally anything. Cook me dinner.
Okay.
Help me build furniture.
Oh, wow. So like,
can you help me move?
I thought you were saying like DIY guy.
No.
I can build your deck or your fence.
No. Like pay me money. I'll do anything for you.
Okay.
Like it's maybe not anything, but like, you know what I mean? It's just like
the bizarre stuff that you wouldn't like. Okay.
The odd jobs. Yeah.
Can you come and make me a cup of tea?
Can you come detail my car? Like he does everything. I feel like you could totally find people in your community that would like, for a couple extra bucks, like come over and help you move bags of soil or whatever. Right. Like I want to move beyond the idea of, okay, I have this chronic illness. I have this disability. I cannot garden. Because I truly, truly, truly believe gardening is for everyone. It's just a matter of how you get there. You might have to think outside the box.
Well, I also think as well, because you literally just inspired this idea right now with your love of community and talking to people. And I know this for a fact. I think we've all got people in our lives like this, is somebody with a mental health or a physical ailment. They frequently do not want to come across as a burden. Mm-hmm. And that's how they sometimes see themselves, which is very sad, but that's not the point of what I'm saying. When you look at an area, that story we had with Kelly regarding losing her balcony and whatnot.
That's right.
And you look at any given area, you draw a circle on a map. I guarantee there is going to be a healthy Venn diagram of people who want to garden but can't because of a physical ailment, and people who want to garden but can't because they don't have a garden. Where's the crossover?
Yeah.
You come and take care of the garden. I will help you. I can teach you. I can give you advice. Whatever we grow, we split 50-50.
Oh, I like that.
You take half the tomatoes, or you want to grow cucamelons. I don't like cucamelons, but that's your area. But you help me take care of my area.
Yeah.
Then you can't make it every day because you don't live there. I can take care of the watering.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great idea.
I can take care of this. And then you come once a week and you take care of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And I feel there are partnerships out there, much like a community garden. But instead of it being a community, you're like, oh, you want a garden? I have a garden. I can't garden. Quid pro quo, Clarice.
Why don't you just ask? You know that friend that I was telling you about, she bought a seed business.
Oh, yeah.
So she doesn't have a lot of space in her yard to grow what she needs to grow for her business.
Yeah.
So she just happened to be at this farm store down the road and talking to the owner and was doing a little farm tour and, just really interested in how he grows. It was Nick from Hartel Homestead.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it turns out they're actually working on a partnership so that she can garden on part of his property, and then they, find some kind of way to split some of the produce. And it's win-win. Exactly. Yep. Community gardens. Community gardens are becoming so popular. A lot of times, again, people with mental or physical ailments can feel lonely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And that's what it's all about, is the community. One of our favorite projects, one of mine, 100% by a country mile, is working with Aaron in the drop-in center. And that's all about the community. And they do help each other out. They do. I remember last year or the year before, I went and we're getting set up, and one of them couldn't make it down. They weren't feeling good that day. And it was planting day. Everybody else there made sure that plants were left over for them that they'd asked for. And then everybody was like, are we going to plant for them? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? Not one person was like, nope, they missed the day. Yeah. More people were like, well, no, let's make sure. Did they have this? Do they have enough? Do they have? When I see that and I go, not one person there. I mean, there was enough for everybody. Don't get me wrong. Everybody had it, but nobody was like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of a person not being there and sneak another tomato. Yeah. Everything was about, does that person have what they need? Yeah. And it was the community. Yeah. Yeah.
that's what gardening's about. And there's no right or wrong way to garden. You know, I'm not going to sit here and have you talk about gardening being all about the community while I'm a solo gardener. Hell no. If you're a solo gardener, unite just on our own terms in our own area.
Yeah. But that's what I mean is that you can absolutely manipulate your surroundings to get you to garden, right?
Yep.
Just like we talked about on Wednesday, right?
Yep. Even
Even if you're told you can't garden outside, you can find ways to garden inside.
And outside of stuff like this, I do like to, I like my solitude. I really do. I enjoy being in the garden alone. If I saw my neighbor struggling with a bag of peat moss, how fast I would be across the road.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. You would be.
I might not leave there with a new BFF, but I'm absolutely going to leave there knowing that they didn't have to lift anything else and that they know where I am if they have any questions.
Yeah, exactly.
So, even as garden curmudgeons can step up and come out and be there. But I know for a fact, one of the reasons Jenny loves the gardening is every single time she does it, she feels better. Every single time. Like not even a time where she's like, oh, I really regretted doing that. Because again, you work to your limit. You can go out and you've only got the strength, the wherewithal, the time for half an hour. I heard a great saying the other day. It was hillbilly sayings on Reddit. It was somebody started a thread and they were like, what are the best hillbilly phrases you've heard that actually have wisdom? Okay. And I've adopted this one. I don't remember the rest of them. They didn't make an impact. This one did. And it's something ain't nothing. And what it means is we all go, well, I can't start that job because it'll take me 3 hours or something else. Do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Something isn't nothing. You do nothing, you've done nothing.
Yeah.
Something ain't nothing.
Ooh, I love that.
I know. It's short, it's simple, hillbilly wisdom.
And we're nothing.
And something ain't nothing. There you go.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the helpful gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!